Hey friends, nothingwired.com, and today we have the latest Google Nexus 5. We have the 16GB version here, which costs about 29k in India and about 349 US dollars in the US. You also get a 32GB version, which costs about 33k in India and 399 US dollars. In this review video, we're gonna talk about what's in the box. We'll give you a review about the hardware, about the user interface, and the Android 4.4 Kitkat, and then we'll talk about the performance of this device. So let's get started. You'll see that the Nexus 5 comes in a fairly colorful box, almost matching with my background here. So that's the Nexus 5. We have the white version here. See, the white and black version, the difference is only in the back flap. So not much of an information. Some other branding information out there, and it's manufactured by LG for Google, of course. And then you get a pretty plain Jane box where only Google is written, pretty hard cardboard box, and then on top you get the beautiful Nexus 5. Now straight away you will see there's a deviation specifically on the back. The Nexus 4 had a glass back. This one has a kind of a polycarbonate back with a rubbery touch to it. So we're gonna come back to those later. It's very light also, and so we're gonna go in, and then you see that's what do you call, pin tool. Take out the seam from here. That's the hole here. And then you have some safety and warranty documents, and then some other Nexus 5 informations. We have the wall adapter there, and then your USB power cord plus the USB data transfer cable. Now note that there is no earphones here. In some market you'd get a pair of earphones also in the box. So that's about it. Pretty non-pretentious. Google tries to keep the price low, but by not giving any bonus accessories. So that's your Nexus 5. Not a stunner, but yeah, it'll do. As I told you before, the first thing you'll notice on the Nexus 5 as a difference from the Nexus 4 is the back. The Nexus 4 used to have a glass back. This one has a more kind of polycarbonate back with a nice rubbery touch. So this rests in your palms better. However, the Nexus 4 looks more premium, but then I've heard that a few people actually broke the back of the phone because it's made of glass and there wasn't any protection on it. So from that perspective, this guy is pretty safe, and it does not look so bad at all. After all, this is very premium, polycarbonate, and it's very tough also, polycarbonate plastic. So I'm certainly not complaining. Now the difference between the black and the white version is only the back flap. So on the black version you'll have completely black device. On the white version, as you can see here, there is no white on the sides or on the fronts, only on the back. So there you see even the sides are plastic, again polycarbonate, much like the Lumia devices. Edge to edge glass design there, and the switches are actually made of ceramic, which give that touch of class to the device. And of course, this is not certainly the most good looking device in the market, but then the Nexus devices are never known to win any design or look competition. They keep things pretty simple, but then it's what's inside that really matters for these guys. So the front, you have the 5-inch full HD display, about 445 ppi, stunning display. You have the 1.3 MP fixed focus front camera. Here you have your earpiece, then a notification LED light and sensor. You'll have your soft keys here. I'm going to show you in a while, and this part is unused. This side you have the volume rocker that you can see. Below you have what looks like a stereo speakers, but actually this is the speaker and this is the mouthpiece. And then you have the USB 2.0 micro USB port. On this side you have the power button here, and then the SIM tray, micro SIM tray, and then the hole here where you will insert the pin that I've shown you during unboxing to take out the SIM tray. And let me actually show you how you do that. So that's your pin tool, and it goes right here, much like in case of the iPhones. Press it here and this comes out. There you see, this goes in again. Yeah, this pin is really thin, and your usual other pins probably won't work with this device. Yeah. So on the back you have the 8MP camera, and you'll also see it's very prominent, and not like the Nexus 4 where the camera really was hiding. You have this prominent glass here that makes it look like it's a big camera, but actually it's not. This is just a protective glass, and there's a lot of area around the lens. The lens part is only actually about that. So the sensor size gets bigger than the Nexus 4. So the Nexus 4 had a 1/4 inch sensor size. This one has a 1/3.2 inch. The pixel sizes also get bigger. It has about 1.4 micron pixel sizes. You have the LED flash here, Nexus, and the LG logo. But a slight protection. The edges are, the round edges here are slightly elevated, but not so much as to protect the glass from a hard impact. So although the back is protected because it's made of polycarbonate, this glass might break if you put it with a force on a flat back, on a flat surface. Yeah, so all in all, we like the design mainly because of the simplicity. We like the straight lines and everything. If look really matters to you, then probably you should go for those Sony's and HTC's phone. But then Nexus devices are mainly for the power, for the quickest updates, and they are mainly for developers. So Google does not pay much of the attention to the peripheral stuffs here. Let's go ahead and show you the display while the phone is booting up. Let's talk about the specs a bit. It's powered by a Snapdragon 800 chipset, quad-core 2.3 gigs, Crate 400 CPU along with an Adreno 330 GPU. That's quite beefy. You have 2 GB of RAM, 16 and 32 GB of internal memory, as I told you. 2300 mAh battery, and apart from that, it's not the thinnest device in the market, about 8.6 mm thin, and weighs 130 gram. It feels really light. So it's switched on, and let's check out the display now. It has a 5-inch true full HD IPS display, yeah, and protected by Gorilla Glass 3. It's very bright, you see. So the icons actually look almost like printed on the glass. There, see, they're very nice and sharp. The viewing angle is also quite good, although a bit reflective. Yeah, let's go and check out some photos here. Let's say, for example, this one. You see the color renditions are quite nice, but then the viewing angle are fine but not exquisite, mainly because the reflection takes over after some time. Let's go and check out some videos to see how it renders the colors and if there are any fuzziness at all. So the saturation seems slightly on the lower side, and you'll see the skin on the Panda it's not exactly white. No, it's slightly on the yellowish, so there's a yellowish tint on the display as I can see here. However, no fuzziness at all. The blacks are quite deep. Yeah. The IPS displays are quite bright and with brilliant whites, but somehow the saturation on this display is not quite up to what I would have liked. But it's more towards natural, but slightly like, you know, as if slightly lower. Basically no artificial touch on the saturation and hue part from Google, which some of you might actually like. The Nexus 5 runs Android 4.4 Kitkat, which is the latest Android version. It does not add many major features, but there are subtle feature and functional enhancement mainly. So you have this lock screen here, and if you have enabled the widgets from the settings, then you'll be able to add widgets here. So you have all options of these. You have seen these widget adding lock screens, so I'm not going to explain them much. The moment you press this camera and drag it here, you can actually go to the camera app from here straight away. There the camera app starts. Yeah. So let's go to the lock screen again, and it's the usual Nexus lock screen, vanilla Android. You can go to unlock here. You can also drag it from up to go to Google Now. Yeah, you can also bring down this notification here, so that's an unlock screen. And then you go there, and the first thing you'd notice is that now the app dock area and the soft key area here are transparent. So that's a new feature in Android 4.4. and now you have the soft key here, back, home, and recent apps keys. So your back key is that, home key is this. You can also drag it up to go to Google Now again, and this would be your recent apps. And that's your home page. So on the left side, the left home page is always Google Now in Android KitKat 4.4. so that's another new feature. You can always long press here to add widgets and wallpapers all to your home pages. This app dock is of course as customized as ever, and that's your notification bar. You can drag it with 2 fingers to bring out the quick function toggle menu. You can also press this one to bring up the same thing. You can remove all these notifications by simply tapping that button. Those are the folders. Yeah, another thing you would notice that how big are the icons. So even when you go to the main app menu, you'll see the icons are much bigger. They are much easier and pleasant to your eyes. Yeah, bigger and very crisp and bright, so that helps a lot of people of all ages. So let's go to the main app menu. Now some of the games you have installed to test, for example Asphalt 8, Beach Buggy, Fruit Ninja, Nova Tree, and Temple 2. All these are the games that we've installed to test. Apart from these, all others come with Nexus 5, and you'll see there are no third-party apps, and you'll only get the default Google Android apps. The default Google Android apps, however, have changed a lot. Some of the change actually came as update to 4.3 or 4.2.2 devices. For example, Hangout now integrates your SMS, MMS, and Google Talk and Hangout, of course, and that's the default messaging as well as chatting app. Now there is no messaging app, you will notice. Again, you have the play music, which you already must have got as an update long ago. So the Google Play Music, yeah, no default offline music app. Then calculator here, yeah, and I'm gonna come to camera a little later. You have very familiar gallery here. I mean, you cannot select multiple album and then delete them. However, you can only multiple select files and then delete them. You can delete a whole album, but you cannot multiple select and then delete them. Yeah, so apart from that, you have Google Keep. Yeah, then dialer looks nice, big enough. It also integrates Google Local and some other informations. So it's very integrated with Google apps. I don't know, for me, Android 4.4 KitKat feels like Google is trying to move towards a Chrome OS on the mobile. Now let's go ahead and check out the camera. The 8MP autofocus camera. You can see pretty straightforward user interface there. Yeah, that's the autofocus. The moment it turns green, you know that it locked the focus. So you have all these. Let's come to the landscape vision. So you can have HDR plus, yeah, or you can remove HDR, of course. Takes some time. Exposure compensation scale. Yeah, you have more options like geotagging, self timer, and some are scene mode and some other options. You have your flash on, off, and auto, and then you also can switch to the front camera from here. But there you can see it takes a little time. It's not exactly lightning fast. And there you'll see at the panorama, video mode, still mode, and then you have a 360-degree mode that came with Jelly Bean, so that you can take pictures 360 degree around you. You need to align the camera first. So let's just check the lag thing. Lags just a bit, so we're gonna just check if there's a no lag option anywhere. That's location, and then I want the location to be active, and that's the countdown timer off, forget it. Then I have a picture size, of course 8MP. Yeah, and then I have the white balance there, and then the front camera. So I do not have options of no lag, or also clicking a photo with no lag. Yeah, so that's about it. Pretty straightforward. Now talking about the quality of photos and videos, you must be knowing that Google actually never paid attention to the multimedia aspect of the Nexus devices. Sadly, that holds true even for Nexus 5. Although for an 8MP camera, the photos look quite nice and detailed. The hue and saturations are fine, but the details are sadly missing even under enough light. Under low light, you will see a lot of noises. The videos don't show fuzziness, but again, they are kind of soft. Next, the default browser is Chrome, of course, and we did an HTML5 test. The brand new Chrome here scores impressive 484 out of 555 points on the latest HTML5 test. Scoring line 484 is actually quite impressive. Yeah, so that's about it. So pretty much the vanilla Android version, so not much to talk about. The app, so I've shown you almost most of the new features that I know of. If you think I've missed any feature out there, then please mention it in the comment and I'll try to incorporate it in my review article. Yeah, so that's about the user interface. Now the system, as you can see, is very fast and smooth. In fact, it's like it almost as if it knows where I want to go, and I almost feel as if before I even touch any icon, it starts to react, which of course not true, but it's buttery smooth. It's more than buttery smooth. It's absolutely feather touch and a joy to operate. Let's check out the audio quality. Let's go to play music, and do I have my volume to max? Yeah. Now let's check out some stuff. So there you can see, you can note this is not the stereo by, so when I keep it here, sound is not obstructed, but when I keep it here, the sound is obstructed. You see, as you can see, the sound via the speaker output is not the loudest definitely, but the bass is quite fine and acceptable and better than many of the devices, many of the premium flagship devices that we've heard. Acceptable, but it's not the loudest. Yeah. Yeah. So absolutely no frame loss, no problem on that side. It's a perfect sync between the video and audio. As I told you during the display review that the color slightly looks on the yellow side, slightly lower saturation and hue, but the details are perfect, no fuzziness whatsoever. Yeah. Let's check out some gaming performance, and I don't expect anything less than stellar performance from the Nexus 5. We'll start with something pretty basic like Temple Run 2, and I don't expect this game to give any kind of problem to the device. It's very smooth, no problem at all. Yeah, absolutely responsive, no frame loss, not that we expected any. Slide. Very responsive. So let's kill it. Next we tried Fruit Ninja, and Nexus 5 should play this game also quite perfectly. No problem in a 3 fruit combo. Pretty cool really, even on a 4 fruit combo performs just fine, absolutely no problem. We go to a slightly more demanding, although not so, for the Nexus 5. And there is very slight frame loss there. So let's take this guy on a drive and let's see if the Nexus 5 faces any problem. I don't expect any though. The water ripples are just fine. Touch response to the touch is absolutely fine and perfect. No problem whatsoever. Let's see if it's even on a closed environment, it just lagged just for a while, but I guess that's more like it must be downloading some data. Very smooth otherwise. Yeah, very smooth. Next we do the Asphalt 8. So this is a pretty GPU intensive game, but no such problem with the Nexus 5, at least not so far. It's quite responsive, you can see. I need to see on a hit and run. Sounds pretty cool till now. You see, graphics are fine, no frame loss there. Yep. Now hit someone and see. Again, fine graphics, no frame loss whatsoever. Yeah, very smooth, no problem. no problem. So Nova 3 next. Now let's test out Nova 3 a bit, and first we'll see how it performs in the movie. Till now pretty fine, no frame loss, no detail loss, quite fine. No, I think the detail is slightly less than I've seen on someone, maybe like on a Note 3 or something. But no frame loss, details are fine, so that's fine. Again, I see a slight less in resolution. I guess the lack of detail that I am perceiving is mainly due to the lack of saturation. Buttery smooth, no problem whatsoever. Yeah, cool. I can just go like this. Yeah. Again, no problem here also. Perfect FPS. Let's skip it. Pretty smooth. As you can see, it plays any game that I throw in it pretty perfectly. Absolutely no problem playing any game thanks to the Snapdragon 800 CPU and the brand new Adreno 330 GPU. So that's about the gaming performance, yeah, and I die. Now check out some of our benchmark scores. For Nexus lover, this is an inevitable upgrade from the Nexus 4 to the Nexus 5. Even otherwise also at this price point, it's hard to beat this guy's specs, because most of the other device that you would find at this price point won't come with this many feature, except probably the camera. Like the Lenovo K900 has a better camera, 13MP, but also a better camera. Other than that, the spec sheet, the CPU GPU combinations, and full HD screen and everything, it's very hard to get a device that's priced at this that's priced similarly with the same specs and features. Most of the device with same kind of specs would at least cost 10k more. If you're looking for a stunner looker, then you might want to look elsewhere, maybe the Nexus 4 or maybe an Xperia Z1 or something, which is like what, 15 or 16,000 more expensive than this. But I definitely won't hold look against the Nexus 5, because for me it looks pretty good. There are a lot of people who likes minimalistic design. It's not much of show-offs here and there, but it's sturdily built and it's good looking. Yeah, it is good looking, and the materials and all are pretty tough. Absolutely buttery smooth. Performance is superlative grade. Now for Android lovers, they say that you should at least have the Nexus device, because these guys would get the quickest update to the latest version, so you get to explore with the latest feature of the OS before anyone else. Even otherwise also, the Nexus devices are also very good in terms of their specs and performance. So we definitely recommend you go for the Nexus 5, or at least have one of your Android devices Nexus 5. And the speed at which these guys are disappearing from the stores, I think what I'm saying is quite correct for this device. If you like this video, Please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more such awesome content. If you have any comment, criticization or a pat on my back, then please hit the comments there. Thank you.